how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Your Success at Last DNA. Yep. And I'm your host, Tracy Brinkman, Tracy the Ace Brinkman, Sergeant Major Motivation. I want to bring you that motivational oomph that you're going to need every single day to help you get what you need to get done. You know, I went out to Google. How cool is Google is? If you're as old as I am, you remember having to go to the library, having to ask people questions, right? You just go to Google. Anyway, I was going to Google and I was going, show me Valentine's Day songs. Because, we have Easter songs and we have New Year's song. We have Christmas songs. You got the birthday song. And I was like, what's the Valentine's Day song? And I noticed it was just like lists, list of love songs you can share with your Valentine. And I was like, well, that's kind of dinky, isn't it? But then I thought about, Valentine's Day is kind of a personal day. I mean, relationships are pretty personal. They're very one-on-one, right? And they're very unique to the two people involved. I know I can have a relationship with one person and have a completely different kind of relationship with someone else. And they may both be guys. They both be guys that are in their 40s. They may both be guys that are in their 40s that like sports. But knowing this guy, Blake, and this guy, James, I'm going to have two different relationships because they're two different unique people. And we're going to talk about relationships today. We're talking about relationships really all week as we go into Valentine's Day. And today we're going to talk about some ideas on how to get positive people into your life. Before we go down there, got to ask you your question for today, don't I? Right? Can't forget about it. Today's question is, what do you really want? What do you really want? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of your relationship? And whatever relationship that may be, what do you want out of that love relationship that you're going after? What do you want out of your marriage? What do you want out of your relationship with your children? Your relationship with your parents? What do you want out of your job? What do you want out of your life? Right? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want? So many people go through their life and their world and they really never really think about this question. Now, usually the people that listen to, a show like this are not that type of person, but just getting that reminder every once in a while to say, yeah, what do I want? All right. And you may have asked that question, but it may have been 6 months ago. It may have been a year ago. It may have been 5 years ago. Maybe when you took that new job and then you said, okay, well, I got that new job. I got that new promotion, so I'm good to go. Yeah, but the thing is, what do you want now? All right. So I want you to think about that question today. Maybe as you're laying your head on the pillow or after this show is over or on the drive home, what do you really want? Do you want a positive relationship in your life? Huh? Do you want a great relationship? That's what we're talking about all this week. Perhaps that's one of the things you want. You see, as we travel our life's journey, many relationships are going to come and go out of our lives. Some of them are going to be wonderful and deep and passionate and loving and funny and joyful. Others, they're going to be, maybe they're going to be joyful, but they're going to be short and fleeting, right? Maybe there's one that's just been wonderful for a long time, and then it's gone. As many of you know, I had that happen not too long ago with my best friend I've known since I was 16 years old. I'm 51 now. Passed away just a few months ago. So that was a great relationship. I will never be able to thank the sun, the moon, the stars, God in heaven, Mother Nature, whomever you want to believe led that. Just fate brought us together, right? Or, on the other hand, you may have a short-term relationship that just sucks. Or you're in a relationship that is just awful. Or this long-term one, right? So relationships range from wonderful and long-lasting to short and unhappy and any mix thereof. So here's the question. Do you tend to attract more negative relationships than positive ones? You see, we strive to develop good, solid, deep, loving, happy relationships. But you should, right? You are, right? You are. I'm nodding for you, as I do almost every show nowadays. But it seems we sometimes end up with exactly the opposite in our world. Yeah? Does that happen to you? Yeah. I know I'm nodding with you. I know it happens. So here's the question. Here's the next question. Wouldn't you love to be able to attract a more positive relationship? Yeah? You would. I know I would, so I'm guessing you would too. You're still listening, so the answer is yes. The good news is you can. I can. We all can. I'm going to give you some tips on how you can enjoy more positive relationships in your life. And here's the cool thing. These things aren't tough. And they're not all about, well, you'll see what they're all about, all right? First one. I love this one. Patience. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful relationships do not occur overnight. Nope. I'm sorry. There are the exceptions to the rules, and I'm lucky enough to be in one of those exceptions right now. The love that I have in my life right now, Diane, it's a great relationship, and it did happen a lot faster than I think any other one I've been in, and it's a wonderful relationship, but it still didn't happen overnight, right? These things, they take time to nurture and to develop into something long-lasting, right? To allow the relationships into your life, you're going to have a little patience to nurture them, to foster them, and to let them grow. See, when you begin a relationship that you perceive is going to be a positive one, do not rush it. Now, here's the thing about that. My version of don't rush it could be different than your version of don't rush it. I've known people that were engaged for 4 and 5 years. They didn't want to rush it. I've known people that got engaged on a Saturday and were married by Monday, and they didn't feel like they were rushing it. So whatever rushing it is for you, all right? So the thing is, you can be very pleased at what develops down the road if you don't rush it, all right? So have a little patience, let things develop, right? And while you're doing that, I want you to believe that you do deserve it. I came out of a long-term, I'm going to make up a phrase right here and call it relationship esteem, right? Kind of like self-esteem. My relationship esteem coming out of this long-term, ugly relationship was a bit wounded. It took me a bit to bring that esteem back up, to believe that I deserved a wonderful relationship. And thank God for the one I have now that really helped me believe that. But the thing is, I want you to believe that you do deserve that wonderful and positive relationship, because you do. We all do. Be positive and avoid negative feelings and avoid negative perceptions about yourself. All right? You've got to know that you deserve to be happy, right? And to have a stable relationship in your life, because you do. We all do. But I know you've got that little guy on your shoulder every once in a while that just starts right in your ear. If you begin to think negative, I want you to turn those negative thoughts around quickly. Right? If it's in there, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're ugly, blah, 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 blah. I want you to clear your mind, right, and regain your self-confidence. Right? I'm not stupid. I'm not ugly. Right? He thinks I'm beautiful. He says that every day. He's not lying to me. I can feel it in my heart. All right? And if it's just believing in yourself, that's where you got to start with. Remember, positive attracts positive. When you think positive thoughts, you're going to be earned with positive results. All right? You ultimately attract positive relationships into your life with that very positive ray of sunshine that you send out into the world, right? So be a good example of a friend, a lover, a partner, a son, a sibling, a father, a mother, whatever it is you want to be, so that you can attract that in kind. All right? Now, to do that, you're going to have to be true to yourself, right? And while you're being true to yourself, go ahead and be true to others as well. All right? See, if you're not true to yourself, whether you believe it or not, everyone's going to sense it, right? At least the people you're going to want to attract into your world, they're going to sense it, right? If you're putting on that fake facade, that Barbie doll face, that plastic face, those that you want to be in your world for a long term, they're going to sense it. And they're probably going to shy away, all right? So I want you to be true to yourself. Don't try and be something that you're not. That is nothing more than a negative way of portraying yourself to other people, all right? And that's not what you want. Okay, and here, let me go one step further. All right? I mentioned earlier about the positive begets positive. So on the other side of that, my goodness. On the other side of that, negative attracts negative as well. So showing others your true self including your flaws, ladies and gentlemen, they'll appreciate that warmth and that openness from you, and you'll form a much stronger bond. Right? However, if you keep showing that negative, fake stuff, guess what you're going to attract? Yeah, negative and fake people. We don't want none of that. Maybe that's what's happening. Trust me, been there, done that. Changed my ways. Be genuine to others. Allow them to see your true feelings and your true personality. Don't use your true feelings as a knife to cut and say, well, it's the truth, right? But you can do it respectfully. I talked about that in a previous podcast, right? Trying too hard, on the other hand, to act like someone else, right? To act like, hey, I'm going to be just like her and she'll like me. No, she's not, right? And you're going to be doing nothing more than really embarrassing yourself. So be you. And that's probably the best person you can be. It's going to come natural, right? So if you be you and they like you, cool. Then you're forming this positive relationship. If they don't, do you really want them in your world in the first place? All right? Now, the last two, kind of biggies. First one is I don't want you to take any of your relationships for granted. Right? This is a big one. This comes back, and I don't want to beat this one too much, but it kind of tells the story. I'll come back to my best friend Robbie again, right? I knew him for 40 plus years, and I am ever so grateful for having met him, for having known him for so long, and for him for being such a true friend over all those years. Through my good times and through my bad times, he was always there. Him and my parents. The rest of the world, not so much. All right? So I want you to remember to always give thanks to the valuable relationships you have in your life. No matter how many they are. Okay? Here's the thing. I could probably count the relationships that I truly value on one hand. Let's see. My two daughters. Diane. Her daughter. Robbie, obviously. And there's probably one more. I'll say one hand and a finger. Okay? So there I've got 6. Maybe that's not too numerous. Maybe the relationships that you want aren't as numerous as aren't as numerous as you'd like. But rather than complaining about that, perhaps you just show the gratitude and be thankful for the ones you have and the ones that you've had in the past. See, by professing this genuine gratitude, you'll have a much easier time in attracting future positive relationships because you're grateful for the ones you have, and that feeling will show, and people will be attracted to you, right? This is about attracting positive people into your life, right? And lastly, be honest. Yeah, this one just seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes the no-brainer just needs to be said. If you're in a negative relationship right now, and I can speak from experience on this one, it's really going to build a wall around you, and it's going to tend to keep positive relationships from coming into your world, all right? So I want you to be honest with yourself, and this is the key, because let's be honest, and I don't mean that as a joke. Let's be honest here. You really can't be truly honest with other people until you're honest with yourself first. So be honest with yourself, and then be honest with others. Make a conscious decision to improve the relationship you're in or get out of it. There it is. It's right there. 1 or 2. Improve it or get out of it. Honesty is going to pave the way for more positive, more trusting, more deep, and more loving relationships to enter your life. And, as the old saying goes, nothing worth having in life comes easily. Yeah, that's true. That's how I believe anyway. Hopefully you believe the same way. Attracting positive relationships and as well as weeding through those negative ones. Yeah, let's be honest. It's not an easy task, but it makes for a much more fulfilling, a much deeper, and I'll say even a better life, right? You love deeper. You laugh. You laugh. You go from the giggle to that belly roll laugh, right? When you have those fulfilling relationships. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about, tomorrow I'm going to ask you an extra question, and that question is going to be, are you ready for a serious relationship? All right? With that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully. Take action.